That young man, more peppered steak in order, I think.
We're at the Fireside. Look at it, it's starting to look more like a studio now, but it's not. We're still old school. We're still. There you go, the Fireside. Look at that. That's a proper barbecue, that.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Mr. H?
Well, mate, I know we were sort of, sometimes we used to always talk about conspiracy stuff. I'd like to talk about a conspiracy theory I've seen going round on the net, and that is about this Project Bluebeam, which, are you familiar with the term?
Yeah.
And the idea is that supposedly shadowy government agents can like project a thing of God or an alien, a UFO or whatever onto the night sky and fool the people and therefore control them by fear and panic, and that it'll usher in a new world order. What do you think about the theory?
I'm completely with it. You know me, I am strong conspiracy. We're being heckled by a crackling fire. Look at that. I hope that doesn't make some of you hungry. But there you go. But yeah, I'm completely with it. My friend Tom in London, the Peckham poet, I think he said that they saw something in the sky where it looked like a city or something like that. And
yeah, in the clouds.
Basically, as everything boils down to control, so as the people become more aware they're being manipulated and they're being controlled, they will uprise. So the governments must then take further and further steps to make sure they maintain that control.
Yes.
And what better ones than saying, the aliens are coming down, who's going to protect us? Well, we're not going to protect you if you don't do what we're told, you know.
Yeah.
As we saw over COVID with certain other things, you know what I mean?
Yes.
How can we word this? Government approved medicines was
Yes.
kind of like, in some respects, compulsory, and if people didn't have the medicine, they lost their jobs and their livelihoods and things like that. Am I allowed to say our status on that, Mr. H?
You can, I'm not bothered. I've been quite open on my own.
Yeah, me and Mr. H didn't take the medicine that was prescribed by the government during the lockdown period, and yeah, but it's all control, sir. Really.
I'm so glad that I didn't. I'll be honest, I'm so glad that I didn't, and I'll stand by that decision. I have had COVID. I caught COVID the first time I've had it about 3 times now. The first time I caught it, we was in Mablethorpe, me and Mrs. H, and I'll be honest, it wiped me out. And the symptoms were very similar to what people was experiencing who was trying the first government approved medicine, if you remember when that come out. And I'll be honest, it's the first time I've ever felt half boiling and my lower half cold, and I believe that that's because as your body's trying to fight something, it sort of comes in on itself and it keeps your core warm and that, and it sort of writes off and abandons your other parts, your further ones. And the second time I had COVID, unless I'd have tested at the behest of Mrs. H, I wouldn't have known I had it. I just thought it was a cold. And the third time that I had it, literally I just carried on, just cracked on. What was weird with that, we might go into another video on this because we can do a whole hours long one on this, and Mr. O's arms will be getting achy. But it's funny how 1 minute it was there and it's like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Next thing it come out, number 10, big piss ups in number 10, and you know, they was living a different life. And then suddenly it all went away. We just have to learn to live with it. And
then 2 years later, you were allowed to go to work with COVID. Oh yeah, it's all right. You can go to work with COVID now, but at the time you was a leper. You had to stay in your house for 2 weeks. While we know the script. There's people whose mothers were dying. They weren't allowed to see them. While all them lot were eating cheese and biscuits and pissing the sides at the fucking populace.
Yeah, it's a really annoying that. It just showed you the only good thing about that, Mr. Allwood. It showed you who the natural fascists would have been. The people who was jumping out and trying enforcing these stupid rules that did not make any sense. Masking being one. I will stand by it. Masking was like trying to catch a flea with a piece of chain link fencing. It wasn't going to work. People didn't use their brains. They were just told this stuff, and just if you didn't follow it, he was a leper. He was an outsider. Very, very scary times then.
How many times did you see somebody wearing a joiner's mask that was made for wood?
Yeah.
It wasn't made because we're in the nose. There's a gap at the top of the nose on each side. Them kind of masks are made for joinery or dust, not actually a virus kind of thing. But people, basically, I don't think the elites believed how easy we all rolled over and capitulated to that thing. And if it happened again, there's no way I'd be queuing 6 foot apart outside a supermarket. I just walk straight in.
Yeah.
I said, well, you got to bring police for. Yeah, there's a man here who wants to do some shopping.
Well, that told you, didn't it? You know, at the time it was a Boris Johnson government, and you could just self-certify if you didn't need to wear a mask for medical reasons. You just downloaded this thing offline. What does that tell you?
What do you think of the thoughts on it, that it was a massive intelligence test?
COVID definitely was around.
Oh yeah,
but I definitely think that some people exploited that, thinking, let's just see how far we can push this, in case for whatever reason.
Well, it ushered in the cashless society a bit further. You know what I mean? During that time period, cash would be vilified. Yeah. When you see credit cards and cash cards go into a dirty machine, what people have used time and time again, and we didn't said stop using cash cards.
Well, what was we all told to do if you sneezed? Don't use your hands. Sneeze into your. This was what we were told, and then next thing we're supposed to be high-fiving like this.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, we're not supposed to use our hands because we put germs on them, but we can elbow one another. It just contradicted itself, and it didn't, for me, pass the smell test. Pardon the pun. There's that whole thing, if it doesn't smell right, it ain't right.
No,
and that's what I got from it. I really did. And I remember when Boris Johnson sat there before the nation and said, you know, you must stay in your homes. Please stay in your homes and all this bullshit. And Mrs H looked at me and just said, don't, because she knew, look on my face of, nobody's telling me I can't go out my own fucking house.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to thank the rebels, the people out there who did capitulate. If it weren't for people who did rebel against it and said, no, I'm not doing that, where would we be now?
And at the Firesides, we're proud to announce we are still pure-blooded, and that's all we're going to say on the matter. Look at that.
That's a cracker, that.
Fuck stay indoors, get out into nature and build yourself a fireside just like us, and we'll wrap it there, Mr H.